Hello, welcome back to the Spider's Web, and in this video we're going to be starting painting the king of the gods himself, Zeus. Now then, first off, what I need to do is plug in this camera so I don't run out of power. So let's have a look at what we have. He's there with his long sword, not sword, spear, and his shield, very ornate. He has his lightning bolt there, and his toga, shall we say, and the rest of it is armour, metallics, leather belt, leather strap there rather, obviously the leather sandals. That's all we have to do. Not much at all. Let's get started. Put my hat on. And there we are. Come on. Let's get cracking. First off, where are you? The same one that we used for Ares, Vestigo Flesh. That's what we're going to use today. And pop some on the palette. Put a bit on because we probably will need quite a bit of this today. Now you may have noticed that there isn't as much flesh with this guy as there has been with other minis, but there's still enough that needs covering. So we'll make sure we have enough paint on the palette to cover what we need to paint. First off, I'll start with the face. We don't need to do anything more than that because everything else is covered with hair of some description, whether it be beard or his normal hair or head hair. Some of these areas are slightly tricky to get at because of the actual moulding for his hair. But when all said and done, if we go over the hair at this stage, it doesn't matter too much because we're going over it later on with a darker colour. Want to make sure that all the skin area though is covered. And while I'm doing that, I'll shut up and let you listen to some music and watch this a little quicker. And we're down to the last part now, which is the left foot. As you may have noticed, I went over the flesh tones twice to try and get a good coverage. All we need to do is make sure that we get a nice even coverage of this skin tone colour, and then basically half the job done. So as long as we get an even coverage, so there's no mottled parts. I want a nice, good, clean colour on this. We're done. I think the tricky part is going to get the back of the shield painted, but you know, we'll do what we can. It's very detailed model, and the way it's posed, you know, it could be tricky getting that back of that shield, but we'll do, as I say, we'll do what we can. So that's the flesh done. Next job, I think, let's go for the metallic, shall we? Get it over with. And for that we're going to use what we usually use, which is block bronze. It's a colour I like to use, and let's get some of that on the palette. We may need quite a bit, we'll find out, but I'm not fussing about this too much, and as you can see I'm not changing brushes here, because we've got a large area to cover. I might as well use this brush to make a start and do the shield. We'll just keep going until we run out of paint on this brush. In fact, what we'll do, we'll keep going until we've done this part of the mini, because as I say, it's a fairly large area, so we may as well use an appropriate size brush for what we want to do. With it being a fairly stiff brush as well, it might get into the areas a bit better than the soft sable brush that I normally use applying the paint to the mini. Okay, I think that's it for the metal areas. I'm hoping that's it for the metal areas. What I'm going to do before I do anything more, because there's not much of this metallic paint left on the palette, I'm just going to flood it with water. So it doesn't dry and stain the palette. So I've noticed that's happening. So I'll flood it with water. And the piece of cloth that I use to dry my palette, I'll dry my brushes on, and just dab it. And then we can continue. So there we are. Now one thing I do want to do is go back into the skin tone, because I have caught some areas with the metal, and we'll do make sure we cover that. And you also realise that I have missed a couple of small areas. Areas that probably won't be seen, but I know they're there, so they're getting painted. Yep, that I think will do the job. Oh, also these parts here, I think will have the skin tone in the middle, because it looks like it's just like a leather area that's been laced together. So they may still see the skin tone through that leather. And we do the feet as well, because that's a little bit of time to dry now. In fact, beggar it, it's going to make it easier. I'm just going to go all over the feet at this time, because it makes it just a little bit easier to get the all the skin tone areas done. If we just paint it all and come back and pick out the rest of the details later. There we are, and a little bit more on that arm as well. That will do fine for that, I believe. This end is a little tricky because he's holding the little lightning bolt thingy-bob. But should be okay now. Next job is the not loincloth, but the oh, whatever it's called, the thingy-majigit, toga, or whatever it's called. For that, Administratum Grey. And pop that on the palette. And into that we want to add a little bit of a bluish tint, so we're going to use the fang. Not a lot of this. That's possibly a bit too much. Oh well, never mind. Administrator and Grey, where have you gone again? Oh, put you down just. There. We're going to have to use a little bit more of this just to take out that. That's more of what I was looking for. I'll take grey with a hint of blue. Not a pale grey blue colour. Oh. There we go. And once again, dampen our brush into this colour. And making it just a slight shade, paler than the actual primer that it's been painted in. It's a fun model to paint in that weird sort of way. So many little details. Which make painting minis such a pleasure sometimes, but also in some cases bloody nightmare. We have one of those horrible mold line things right down there where all the bloody detail is, as usual. It's annoying, but one of those things. I'm hoping this, I hadn't noticed it at first, but hopefully I can disguise it somewhat. Right, next job. I'm going to be using, for that strap that goes around his chest and the leather area there, a little bit of Scrag Brown. Just not used this for a while. I got a new pot last week. Just the trouble opening it. The whole thing came off in my hand. I'm not going to do anything more to this. and it's just going to be the, you see what I mean, there are your arm slips and you end up getting the wrong bit of paint in the wrong area. And we are going to have to go back into that grey now and cover up what we've just done. But like all model painting, or all painting in general, it's, as I've said before, a case of minor adjustments, time after time after time. And I have to be careful, so I keep twanging the end of the spear on the tabletop as I'm painting something on his front here. Really must be careful with that because I do not want it snapping. And as you may have gathered, this is the final mini in the core set of Mythic Battles Pantheon. We'll be starting another painting project next week, and I'm thinking of doing Order of the Vampire Hunters, just for a bit of a change. So next week we'll be starting off the core set of that. There's plenty of repeated minis there, so there'll be a lot of actual cuts when I do one particular mini, because there's, as I say, there's a few of the same type in the core set, so and I may actually do any repeated ones as well. So I do have a set which adds more of the basic minis, so I'll go through and do all of the one particular type in the videos. Obviously not showing every little step I do because I don't particularly want to, but I'll show you one, but I'll do all the others as well. If you remember some of the other videos that I did in this kind of thing, you'll know what I'm talking about.